Bam, we're live. Who's the blonde girl?
I'm not sure, but your mic is on the wrong setting.
Oh, do you see the blonde girl in the waiting room?
I do.
Who's that?
I'm not sure.
Hold on. My mic. I see Matt Shindeldecker. This is like, do you know that show Romper Room?
Romper Room?
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of it.
Oh. Who's the blonde girl? Who's the blonde girl?
Is this headphone set up?
Souza. Look at Matt Shindeldecker's like
no
Matt Shindeldecker thinks he's going to text me the answer and give it away.
Oh.
Look
what are we talking about?
See the blonde girl down there?
I see her, yeah.
She scares me a little bit. Who's that?
She should scare you. She looks like she's a she looks like she's a lawyer in that office.
Oh, she does look like a lawyer. Holy shit. What did we say about Shindeldecker? Oh, shit.
He brought the big guns.
Here we go. Caleb, there might not be room for you.
That's okay.
I
don't want to deal with the blonde. She's scary.
She's just scary. Yeah. Wait. There
you go.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
What's up? Who's that girl? Chrissy.
Chrissy is our GM and head coach at the prison.
All right. She's waving. She seems safe.
That's what she wants you to think.
Okay, here we go, everyone. Brace yourself for impact. Hi, Chrissy.
Hello.
What's up, girl?
I'm good. How are you? That was very funny commentary. I was trying to not a lawyer, not scary.
Prison, though. Prison. You spent time in prison, it sounds like.
That's all right. I got a little spiciness, but nothing crazy.
Judgment-free zone. Everyone spent a little time in prison. Safe space. Matt, what's up? Debbie, what's up?
How's it going?
Good. So stoked to have you guys back on.
Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you for it. I know I don't think a week goes by where we don't get a message, a text message, a phone call. Hey, I was watching the Sevan podcast and man, I want to be a part of your program. How do we start? So what you're doing plainly, quite frankly, is probably more publicity than we've had in the 2 years of partnering with others.
Hey, I said it to you on the show and I meant it. When the first time I had you on and I heard your story, as you got off the show, I was like, hey, dude, I'm a little bit envious because your life seems like it has so much purpose in it. You wake up every morning. You told us your story, basically let us know how the world put you where you are today. And in that position, everything that happened in your life has made you capable, eminently capable of handling and doing what you're supposed to be doing. And I am sort of a single issue guy as I have 3 kids of my own. That kids are, she's a Fed. We saw that, Chrissy.
I see it.
I saw it. I'm a single issue guy and it's kids first. It really is like, that's kind of the filter I put it through, what can we do to, I don't like the word help because it's so ambiguous. And I think a lot of people who think they're helping are actually hurting people. Mm-hmm. But your mission to empower kids and help them put them in a situation to build confidence and identity and regather and recoup their understanding of themselves.
Yep.
Is what you're doing. Can you tell me in a nutshell, either you or Debbie, what you guys are doing? It's CrossFit Crave, right? That's the mothership gym. Okay.
Yep. That's the mothership gym. So CrossFit Crave, we'll turn 15 this year. We'll sign our 15th year next month, I think.
Dang.
We've been working with our probation department locally in our county for 6 years. Basically, it's court ordered CrossFit. We started a program where the kids come to the gym 4 days a week for an hour. They have their own class. And these kids are, a lot of people work with, I'll call it at risk, which is great. But these kids are the risk because they're already in the system. They've committed to crime. Now they're going through rehabilitation. And the judge that we partnered with, court orders a select amount of kids to come to the gym to work out. And like you said, we've talked before, it's the methodology, it's CrossFit, but it's combined with community that makes this program successful, meaning recidivism rates across the United States, the rate at which adults and juveniles reoffend. So They go through their court ordered time, they get out of jail, whatever it is. In the adult world, it's measured every 1, 3, and 5 years. Meaning, do they come back into the system at some point 1, 3, or 5 years after post parole, if you will? 88% of adults reoffend in that 5-year time frame.
Damn.
70% or more like 75% of youth do the same thing because they're dropped right back into the program or right back into the environment they came out of. This, like, if you look at predictive values, if you drop someone back into the same home, predictively, they're going to come back. They're going to turn out the same way. But we've been able, through community and the methodology and the work that our coaches and what Chrissy's doing in the prison, is reducing that to about 23%.
Whoa.
Hey, there's another implication there too, right? That punishment doesn't work.
That's right.
Now, by the way, I'm not suggesting by any means that bad people aren't taken off the streets. I am not suggesting that. I'm just suggesting that that it's not working if the goal is to get them back and to be productive members of society. For me, the most powerful piece of the whole thing, and it should be talked about every day somewhere in the CrossFit space, is that you have the parole. We have an echo.
I know. I don't know where that's coming from.
Did someone open up their YouTube browser? Maybe. Nope, not you, Chrissy. Let's see. Maybe it's Matt.
Is that better?
Yeah, much better. Thank you. Oh, no.
Still there. Wait.
Let me
hold
see.
on.
Mute Matt and Debbie for a sec. Yeah, it's coming from something you guys have going on. Like you have two, like maybe you have a phone open or. But
I'm
the
not
most
sure. Is it still there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe come out and come back in.
Okay, I'll do that quick.
Chrissy,
We'll
what's up with
interrogate.
you? So Chrissy, did you say you work in the prison and you are? How did you meet Matt?
So my gym is like half a mile up from the jail, and Debbie and Matt were in town. I just happened to be there working out on my own, and she knocked on the door. We started talking. I'm in the recovery space, so that kind of like with Matt's situation and stuff, or life, talking about my recovery and stuff, it just kind of segued into how I want to help at-risk youth. And here I am.
So you were at a CrossFit gym a half a mile away?
Yeah. I don't own it. I just coach there.
For me, the most potent part of the program is the fact that the parole officers have to also work out with the clients. And for the first time ever, a couple weeks ago at Greg's house was the first time in 3 years that everyone who's on the Sevan podcast got in one place together, and we worked out together. And although we're all very close, it changed my relationship with Souza and Caleb and Hiller, and just working out with people. It accelerates for some reason, working out together really hard accelerates the intimacy of the relationship. Some people say it's group suffering, and that's why it works in the military with those whatever the SEALs do that week that they do, that create Hell Week. But for some reason, would you say that also? Do you see that? Like when you said that to me, I'm like, oh, that's it. That's the piece. It's not. It's having the parole officers work out with the the kids.
Yeah, it absolutely levels the playing field, right? Because these kids are constantly monitored through the court system. They've got ankle bracelets on. An officer picks them up and takes them to counseling, takes them to doctor's appointments. They're constantly monitored. And you drop them in a CrossFit setting for an hour, and now they're on equal playing field. So that shared suffering that you have inside of that hour, that CrossFit gives us, it's that there creates the bond. It's shared suffering. When I get up off the floor after finishing 24.3, and that correction officer, probation officer, or policeman, woman that arrested me helps me up and say, hey, good job, completely level playing field did. Right? You go back to what, Greg has always preached about, hey, it doesn't matter if you're a garbage collector or an attorney or a doctor. Inside of that hour, all of that goes away. And that's where, rehabilitation starts.
I want to talk about how this spreads to other gyms. So Chrissy, tell that story again. So you're at a gym a half mile away, and how do you find out about this program?
Debbie walked in.
That's it. And was she there to work out, or was she there to just share the program?
Debbie, you can say how you ended up there, but I was working out with my
Were you a
friend
coach there?
Yes.
Okay.
With my friend Melanie, who also helps with the program. And Debbie walked in and we talked for a bit, and here we are.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
And Debbie, were you going there to share the program with that gym a half mile away from you?
They're a half a mile away from the detention center.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm there with the intention of finding quality coaches with a heart to serve, to hire to go into the juvenile detention center to coach the youth and the security guards there. When we started this program inside of the juvenile detention center, we've already been working for years with kids who are on probation and doing that. Our state came to us and asked us to start CrossFits inside of the juvenile detention centers. Because they're 3 hours from us, we had to hire local coaches.
Mhm.
So, sometimes in life, there's a pressure to do things because it's expected or because of titles, right? So near this detention center, there were some coaches who had surface level impressive titles within the CrossFit world, but no heart to serve, no heart for others. So we went and talked to them and introduced them to the team within the detention center. And 48 hours before the program began, they texted and said, "We quit. It doesn't have the CrossFit HQ name on it. We're out." And so
Wait, that was the reason? That was the reason they gave?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately.
Hey, we're both like thinking the
Best
same
thing
thing.
ever.
Right?
I don't even know how to process that. Why would that? I know this is a
Notoriety.
digression, but why would that? Really?
Yeah, they're not in it to change recidivism or to change lives. They were in it for notoriety, which I'm 100% grateful that they quit, because it would have been a complete
Yeah.
disaster had they went forward.
Mm-hmm.
So
Notoriety, meaning that they wanted credit for it publicly?
Yep.
Mhm.
That's what it boils down to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I have you guys on the show.
And because my name is Debbie Wagner with Expanding Horizons and not Debbie Wagner with HQ, that made a difference.
Mm-hmm.
That's fascinating to me. I mean, I'm
Wow.
gonna have to process that. I don't really. I'm not. I have to process that. Oh,
Yeah.
And what does it mean, heart to serve? What does that mean to you, Debbie?
What I would say 99% of CrossFit coaches do. You go in to change lives.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going in again for a title. You're going in to create relationships and change lives, and for your life to be changed.
Yeah. I think, and Sue, you'll recognize this. I think we all, at least for me, 15 years ago, found CrossFit because we needed to change our lifestyle.
Right.
What direction are we going in? I lacked the community, which I never thought I would find in a CrossFit gym until I walked into it.
Mm-hmm.
Then fast forward that to say, okay, I want to have ownership, because my internal value, I wanted to share that externally. And how do you do that? You join a gym or open an affiliate, right? Now you're taking what you started with and trying to share that with people, because the effectiveness, what it does. Give it 6 months. What will it do to your life? And that's kind of where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we started. And then you can finish with Coach Chrissy.
Yeah.
Hey, there's our guy.
Christy, what's your day job?
I'm a stay-at-home mom and a coach.
And how many kids do you have?
I have 3.
Wow. How old are your kids?
I have an 8-year-old son and then twin 4-year-old girls.
Oh.
We're in a very similar boat. Did you know that?
No.
I have twin 7-year-old sons and a 9-year-old boy.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, crazy. Wow.
Right. So you live a crazy life too.
Wait, are your twins are younger or older?
Younger.
Younger. Okay, same with me. Wow.
Are yours identical or fraternal?
Fraternal. They each had their own bag. Fraternal. Yeah.
That's
Each
right.
had their own-
Mine had their own bags, but one placenta. So we're identical.
Oh, is that how that works? I thought
Uh-huh.
Gypsy. Oh, I'm trying to think of my wife. I don't remember her birthing 2 placentas. Oh yeah, she did. Yeah, she did, because I remember them, because and then each of them from the placenta is like that disc thing, and then the umbilical cord comes out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had 2 separate ones of those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the big indicator between fraternal and I learned
How-
a lot.
how do
0
you-
twins in my family, and I had
So there's 2 umbilical cords coming out of one placenta. Is that how that works? Fascinating, crazy.
It's crazy.
Did you save that thing?
No,
No.
I
got mine. I kept them.
It's in a bag somewhere back
No,
there.
they just dried up like snakes. They're like dead snakes. They're just like a snake skin. They're just dried up, and I coiled them up and saved them. But I would love to see a placenta with two snakes coming out of it. That's wild. Hey, did you see it? Did you see it?
I saw it through a picture. I had a photographer in the delivery room.
Were the umbilical cords different sizes? Like, did one kid have a really robust umbilical cord, and one kid had a little weenie one?
Yep. So I had to be like every other week, I had to go get a C-section to monitor that they were like sharing nutrients as opposed to one dominating the other.
Not a C-section, but a MRI.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
ultrasound. Sorry, ultrasound. An ultrasound. I was like, how
Sorry.
many C-sections did you have? Okay. Wow, fascinating. God, because one of my kids' umbilical cord looked like a joke. I was like, you ate through that? I mean, it was nothing. Okay, so you have kids. So you're there, and Debbie comes in there, and what does it mean to you, a heart to serve? I'm assuming she kind of opens with that line.
Well, I mean, it was just casual conversation. I am 7 years sober. I fell into CrossFit, like you were just talking about, to change my lifestyle, save my life. And throughout that whole conversation, I was talking about how I wanted to work in the recovery community, like something like Phoenix does, with CrossFit. And then she was like, well, by the way, this is the program we're doing. It's up the road. Are you interested? And I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. And almost a year later.
Mm-hmm.
And do you actually have a program there with like a handful of kids like who are in the program at your gym?
They do not come into my gym.
You go to the detention center.
I go to the detention center twice a week. It is a full-blown affiliate. If you look on CrossFit.com, you'll see it. I think they need to put a little like asterisk that it is
Right.
a detention center.
Yeah, it's hard getting into this one. It's hard getting into this one.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
drops in.
Yeah.
Why are there wires? And yeah. So, yeah.
Hey, just on a complete side note, my wife used to teach yoga to a lot of different places, and she would go to juvenile detention centers too. She said it was really depressing, just in the way it was like just the facility, the actual building, all the doors you have to walk through, doors locking behind you. She even taught some at San Quentin,
Really?
which is like the big prison. Yeah, breathing and yoga classes. Man, we could do a whole show on just your experience and what you feel as you walk into that center. Hey, what did the gym owner say? Debbie, do you talk to the gym owner first before you go in there, so they're not like, hey, are you trying to poach our coaches?
Yeah. So I had contacted the gym owner at Chrissy's gym and
Mhm.
just said, hey, I'd like to come visit. We're, hiring for this program. Are you interested, or do you think you'd have coaches? Because of the timing, the classes are midday. So if you have a 9-to-5 job, you're automatically not available to be able to do this. So he told me, when to go in. So I went into the very first day of the program inside the detention center by myself, because remember, the other coaches had quit 48 hours before. So a little emotional meltdown in the parking lot. Like, can I do this? Right. Because these are your.
Why? Because you'd only been teaching it outside. That was the first time you'd gone inside. You'd only been teaching it at CrossFit Crave.
I had been inside to tour before, but this time I'm taking 15 PVC pipes in, and I'm going in to coach kids who are, number one, they're bigger than I am. And they were excited, but they're there because they've had some heavy trauma.
Right.
And you just don't know how it's going to go over, but it was fantastic. And there was a break of about 2 or 3 hours between that and the next class that I was going to do. So I drove the half a mile to Chrissy's gym and said, hey, just want to drop in and meet you guys. And by the way, here's the program we're doing. That was on a Monday. And on Thursday, she was inside the facility with me.
Mm-hmm.
And Chrissy, how long had you been
Wow.
coaching?
2 years.
And when she comes in there, and do you know she's coming in there? Did the owner of the gym tell you? No.
He had sent an email asking if we were interested, but I didn't know she was coming in that day.
Mm-hmm.
God, it's so cool. And how long have you been doing it?
It's almost a year. It'll be a year at the end of May.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Matt, or I guess Chrissy, why doesn't your gym, or is your gym also the owner in the process? It seems like it's very positive impact on the gym for the community and financially to also start onboarding people who've been released from the juvenile detention center, or people who want to bypass it. What my understanding is that some of these kids get sentenced to juvenile detention centers, and they can choose the option, hey,
Mm-hmm.
you want to try a 13-week program
Mm-hmm.
instead of going to juvenile hall, you can go to CrossFit Crave. Is that something that your gym's going to do?
It's not in the conversation right now. I
No.
would totally run that for them. But that's not something that's been discussed yet.
Mm-hmm.
And
Go
Go
ahead, Debbie.
the main reason we are not further along in that discussion is my bandwidth in this and working with county governments. It takes a bit to
Right.
get connection with the judge and to work through the funding and the paperwork and all of that.
Yeah.
But it's highly supported by the Director of Youth Services and the governor here in the state of Ohio. It's just,
Yeah.
you can only do so much in a day. And
Yeah.
we're working right now with 120-ish gyms across the US and Canada to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
To have programs at their CrossFit affiliate, not in a prison. So
Right.
one of the things I wanted to touch on, we contact the owners to make sure that they understand we're trying to supplement their coaching staff, right? We want to make that coach a professional coach, and our goal isn't to take them from the affiliate. It's to enhance their the hours that maybe they're not open or they're not working. We can supplement those hours by driving to the correctional facility. Where she's our GM at that building, plus coaching classes. She can make extra money and still not lose the affiliate that she came from. For example, the next two facilities we open are going to be managed by current CrossFit affiliate owners,
Mhm.
right? So,
And those will be in additional
Mhm.
juvenile detention centers similar to where Chrissy is based.
100%. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So we make it a point. We really try to say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. affiliate owner, we want to enhance the ability to allow your coaches to earn some serious money outside of walking into the affiliate, only if you're ready for it and it's okay for them to do that. So we have to have that conversation first.
And the other thing is that we require coaches to go through a mental health seminar that we've developed with a psychologist, because in coaching in general, not just in this demographic, there's so many things to coaching besides movement, and so many things that your athletes are working through in addition to coaches working through.
Mhm.
But to be able to have that connection and help beyond movement, we need more training than what we have found was given currently. And so that's another thing is all of our coaches, and I see Maddie B is on here.
I was going to ask you that. So that's what he's referring. And what's that seminar called?
Coaching Beyond the Game. It's an 8-hour seminar, and we just gave our last one last Saturday.
Is there a page where people can sign up for that?
Yeah, the next page, the next one will go live today for registration, and that'll be in June.
And what's the website?
Yeah. If you go to expandinghorizonscf.com.
Why would Matt take this? Why did he take it?
Because he's in Florida, and we're working with his affiliate to start a probation program at his gym.
Okay. Hey, I want to try to get the lay of the land here really quick. So there's CrossFit Crave, and CrossFit Crave is a place where they come with their probation officers and the people. There's
Yep.
also a second program or within. So I don't know if second program is the right word. Then Chrissy also does the same program you guys do at CrossFit Crave, but she does it inside of a facility.
Yes.
And those are both in the state of Ohio.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And where else and then and then you mentioned this 120 number. Is that 120 number affiliates that have contacted you that are somewhere in the process of
Yes.
either having, now of those 120, are those people gyms that are looking to have people in, or they're more
Yes.
like looking to do what Chrissy does?
No, not yet. The reason
Is Chrissy one of a kind? Is that the only juvenile detention center where you go into?
Chrissy is history right there.
Okay,
Christy's
okay.
Chrissy.
For
I
for
like
the
that.
for the state of Ohio and right now the country, because it is a full-fledged CrossFit affiliate that's in the prison system, that is operated by Coach Chrissy.
With
Um,
CrossFit equipment.
Yep.
It's important to know they have barbells and dumbbells.
mhm.
They don't have machines. And prior to this, machines were the only thing allowed inside juvenile and adult prisons in the state of Ohio. So
Mhm.
state legislation
Mhm.
changed the law there to be able to open this facility.
Mhm.
So Christy, you walk in there, and how many clients do you have?
It's capped at 15 now.
So it
It's
could
a-
just be you and 15 people. It could be a huge class for you.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So I now have, in the beginning, it was just me and my good friend Melanie. She was with me on Mondays, and then Thursdays I was by myself. I now have a gentleman named Scott that works with me on Thursdays. So both days we kind of just like divide and conquer.
Mhm.
The
1
thing
hour
is-
class?
1 hour class. Yes. The thing is with this program, it's just constant curveballs. The boys walk in, I have to gauge what I'm working with. I have to
You mean
see-
their mood? You mean mood or how
Definitely
old?
mood. Definitely
mood.
mood.
Okay.
The ages range from 13 to 20. Right. Right. I think my youngest was 13. In the beginning, we had the graduates. So the boys that were done with school would come and work with me. And they were very committed. They were very into it. Our first release was his last name was Davis. He went out, he went to a gym. He plans on going into the military. So our first release was a very successful story.
Mhm.
So sorry, I misunderstood release when you said it. That's not someone who's kicked out of the program. That was someone who was in the program for how long?
He had spent 2 years
So
or 2.5 years of
he
this
was
sentence.
in for he had been shot 6 times and delivered the same back to who was shooting him. So he was in there for a shooting. Basically, he's lucky to be alive. He was in the program for 2.5 years. He was in the prison for 2.5
Right.
years, and then a year ago, during his last, call it 10 months, we started the CrossFit program, and he started working with Chrissy. So
And
when
Christy
we-
was the only teacher he ever knew. She's the first. Okay.
that's it. She's
There are
first.
some coaches with her, but yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
she's
okay.
she's the only CrossFit coach he knew. So with the state, once the
Sorry, real quick, Debbie, did you
Yeah.
when you did it at a juvenile detention center, did you go into the same one that Chrissy went into?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
but you never met this dude. He wasn't there.
I met him, but again, because of the 3 hours drive time
Yeah.
to and from, we get up there maybe once or twice a month.
Okay.
Because of our coaching schedules and things like that. So Chrissy is in there twice a week, every week without fail.
Okay.
Mhm.
Sorry, Matt. So Christy
Okay.
has him for 9 months or 11 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whenever they're released. So when a prisoner that's in the system is done its time or her time or his time, pay the restitution. Now it's just like, hey, you get out of jail, right? So the reason this works so well is because we need that athlete that's in the prison to have a community to go home to. So we work with a local CrossFit affiliate for this. This one was in Youngstown, Ohio. Called up the affiliate and said, hey, we've got a young man that's going to be released in a month. Would you like to take him into your affiliate? The state of Ohio will pay his membership to your affiliate for the next 3 years.
3 months.
They will pay that, and then you'll have another athlete.
For 3 months, did you say, Debbie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3
Okay.
months.
Okay.
Yep. So then we bring the affiliate owner in to the prison to meet, to work out. So they'll join the class. They'll meet the individual that's being released, and they'll start to develop that connection and that bond. And then post-release, he gets out of jail. We drop him into the CrossFit affiliate. So, we're trying to, that ecosystem we all talk about, right? We're trying to increase the ecosystem. We know the reason for the success inside the walls, whether it's an affiliate or the prison, is because of the community that the coach develops, the relationship the coach develops with the athlete, and they get excited about CrossFit. It's sometimes the first time they've ever had someone say, hey, you did a really good job there. That, these kids may have never heard that before. So then you drop them into an affiliate, and now all of a sudden the affiliate is helping them get jobs because of members in the gym that are employed somewhere. And they may say, hey, I got a yard job. Could you help me with that? Or could you work in the back room of my store, or whatever that is? So now the affiliate owners taking Timothy Davis and saying, hey, there's a job over here that one of my coaches or one of my athletes needs some help. Would you want a job? Now we got him a job, right?
So you're stimulating them into the community. And we all know that, it's like one of my friends is a real estate investor. And what he does is he'll call cities and then he'll call the local CrossFit gym and he'll be like, do you have any realtors there or bankers there? And he only works with CrossFitters because right away you've culled the herd for, it's someone who's probably a good person, right?
I've already filtered it out.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So
It's the byproduct of it's what our community attracts.
Right.
No doubt. And here's what it boils down to. A coachable child becomes an employable adult.
Oh, wow.
Period.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if I can
absolutely.
step into a class setting and take direction, hey, Chrissy's going to teach you how to do a push press, a deadlift. Here's the workout. Here's the structure of the workout. If that individual, adult or not, can follow those directions and do that consistently, time in and time out, when they get out, all of a sudden they're waking up to go to jobs because it's consistent, it's responsible. And we can help their job hunt saying, yeah, I vouch for this individual because guess what he does every single day on his own? Comes to class, does the workout, cleans up, great with the community. He's employable, right?
So our goal in that 3 months that the state is funding is to help him establish that community, that relationship, and also make those connections for jobs so that come 3 months, it's not like he's kicked out or anything like that. If he's still getting established, like we had one youth who was going to college, well, he doesn't have the funds then to also pay for his CrossFit membership, right? So part of my job then is to talk to the state and say, hey, he needs a 4th month or 5th month or whatever, but kind of gradually allow them to have ownership in that responsibility. Like, Davis's membership's not going to be $100 his first month on his own. His affiliate says, hey, how about you pay $20 and then you come in and clean the gym twice a week, right? Give him responsibility, give him ownership, give him a reason to want to come because he's proud of himself for not just his deadlift, but also what he's creating. And so it's kind of like the training wheels start to come off.
And that's why it's important to have people who have the heart to serve, because it's going to have to be affiliate owners and people who are willing to, they have the same end goal that like everyone who works on the team has to have the same end goal to get these people back to reassimilated with society, with self-belief in themselves. They can do it.
Right.
You don't want an affiliate owner, to just be like, okay, you've been here 3 months and the state stopped paying, get the fuck out.
Right.
Right. Yep. I can't make money off of you. You got to go.
Yeah.
And what happens if they're not in the program and that same individual gets released? Is there are they just like, okay, good luck?
Yeah. Yeah. When you're released, it's worse as an adult, but when you're released as a juvenile, if you have any parents, relatives, if you're under 18 and you've got guardianship, literally they open the front door, they give you what you came in with, which is nothing. And you walk out with your color-coded prison outfit and you're dumped out in the parking lot. And that's it. Literally.
Wow.
The second individual that was released, his last name's Harmony, is the one that started college, did not have a family outside of the prison. He had been in, I think, 2 years, maybe a little longer. He was 20 turning 21 and had zero home. So the state had to put him, call it a halfway house, had to put him in a halfway house because he had nowhere to go. So through that process, we integrated him into an affiliate in Columbus, Ohio. They found him a job and then helped him enroll in college. And now he's at Columbus State Community College, doing what he wants to do based on the relationship he developed in the gym outside of post-parole, because he had nothing after that, right? No community.
And also, it's important to know, while he was with Coach Chrissy for less than a year, lost 40 pounds.
Yeah. 40 pounds.
Yeah, the other side effect you don't even talk about, right? They get fitter, they get healthier, and which makes them mentally, it puts
So
them in
proud.
a totally different position.
Happier.
Happy.
So much happier. I could
He was
tell
driven.
when he would walk in, he like wanted to be there. I mean, he could not move well at all. And then it just over time, he was just dropping weight. And I mean, let's be honest, the nutrition, the food available to them is not great. So, you know, trying to coach these boys and talk to them about making good decisions is difficult to do while they're in the facility. But he was committed, and it was a wonderful thing to watch. He like really started taking care of himself.
Matt and Debbie, we got a crazy echo from you again. I don't know what happened. I don't know why it went away.
See if we
Is
can
there
adjust
only?
the settings.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's my mic.
It's the mic on your computer.
Could be. Well, I'm using the Yeti.
Maybe
but
and then the audio is coming out of the speakers of the computer.
Yeah.
Maybe pull the microphone a little further away from the computer, or push the computer back a little bit. Maybe.
Yeah.
I tried to adjust the mic settings.
Hey, Chrissy. So when you're in there with these 15 guys, is it always the same 15 guys? How often do you have new people?
I have new people a lot. So the goal was to keep the same guys. But the way their school works is they have like 2-week intersessions a lot. It's year-round school. So during those 2-week intersessions, I'll have 17 to 20 boys walk through the door to come in to do a workout. I see it at, it's not ideal, but if you want to come move, I'm not going to turn you away. Right. So it has made me a better coach because I have to constantly just like switch, turn, pivot, make sure like I have these guys doing the basics. I have the guys that have been with me doing something else. But I have seen like 5 boys right now that are graduates, so they have the time coming in and working out with me. So that's enough for me right there. I would love to have all 15 all the time, but I have 5 steady boys. And then the other problem is I'm thrilled they're getting out, but at the same time, like I'll have these boys for 3 months, they'll get committed and then they're released. So it's kind of like, I love it. I'm so happy they're moving on with their lives, but at the same time, like it's just a constant change, a constant getting to know these boys. And I never know what I'm going to get. I mean, these boys have had severe trauma. So even though I've had one boy for 6 months, one day he could walk in and be a completely different kid and refuse to even do things. So, long story short, there's a lot of change, a lot. But it's good because I won't see a boy for 6 weeks and then he'll come back and he'll say he missed it or, you know, he's recommitted. And then we have other conflicts that they have a lot of programs in the jail. They have welding. They send the boys to a community college. And when that kind of stuff comes up, it takes precedence over CrossFit. So I may have boys for a while and then they're gone. So it's just a constant change. But the ones I do have are all in. And it's awesome to see.
And staff.
What kind of talks do you give with them? Are there lectures that go with it too? Like, hey, I'm just making this shit up. Hey, half of you are in a shitty mood, half of you are in a great mood. I want all of you to watch your mood and see what happens. At the end of the class, I'm going to ask you how your moods have changed. Or, hey, boys, we all know about fighting. Today, we're going to talk about core to extremity. If you want to punch someone, how do you punch someone the hardest? You start at the core and you work it. Like, do they get some of that CrossFit, talk? Like, do you? What do they get in terms of lecture?
I wouldn't say it's a lecture, but there's a theme. I would pick a theme, whether it's like falling down, getting back up. We do burpees. You know, I choose a theme every time. But again, like I said, sometimes I have to completely scrap it because I'm begging them to even move. Right. So in my like perfect class, I have a theme. We're talking about it throughout. I kind of incorporate, I was a yoga instructor as well. And I try to like retouch on the theme throughout, like you would do in a yoga class. And sometimes it lands, sometimes it doesn't, but at the end of the day, we retouch on it at the end, we get together, they have to all tell each other good job. And then I just follow up with it, and that's it. Hope that it landed or connected with them in some fashion.
Do any of them know they're doing more than exercising? I'm trying to remember what it was like being 16 years old. And I don't think that I thought of exercising as anything else other than exercising. But obviously as adults, we all know it's like less than 50% exercising. Like we're doing a bunch of other shit, clearing our minds, working on our, on our motor recruitment patterns, fine tuning our brain. I mean, we're doing stuff. We're changing our oil because we're sweating. Like as adults, do kids know that? Or for them, is it just exercise?
They don't. I believe they're normal young kids walking in, and it's my job.
They think they're doing PE.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my job to educate them about like the outside benefits. And I think that's where my personal experience of being in recovery and having a tough time in my life, that has been a good way to connect with these boys so they don't think I'm just this health nut coming in here trying to make them move around. Like I mean, there was a day where they just were not having it. And I was like, everybody sit down and we're going to talk. And we're going to work through this. We're going to talk about your mental health, and we're going to talk about, and just kind of like getting on their level and building that trust to where it went from just like fitness to where I check in with the boys personally. And then we talk about like, my big thing is just like clearing your head, having a good mood, because there's so much conflict within that building between like gang violence and trauma, previous trauma, emotionally not developed. And I try to just like preach to that. And I'm always like, the added bonus is you feel good, you're sleeping better, you look good, but it's not just about that.
Right. I think one of the things that's interesting in the programs, I want to call them pods. So each kid is in its own pod, and they stay in that. That's where they eat. That's where they sleep. They have matching shirts, like you're the orange pod, or you're the green pod, or you're in this program. It's the first time that they can intermix those pods. Because if they do that on the normal, they all go to lunch at the same time. There is, without question, there's going to be a fight and a complete lockdown. Right. But inside of the CrossFit class, because of what Chrissy's been able to establish here, now they can bring two pods together. I've got 4 or 5 kids from this pod and 4 or 5 kids from this pod. I can bring them together without the fear of something happening, whether it's a physical assault, sexual assault, or whatever that may be. They can get that done inside of that CrossFit class. And Chrissy's extremely humble when she talks about this, but I would put Chrissy up against any one of CrossFit's Flow Masters when it comes to knowledge and how to run a class and the form. Literally, when I walked into her class the first time, I thought, man, am I back at my L1?
You mean at the pod, or you mean at her gym?
No,
at the pod. At the pod. Wow.
It was impressive. Yeah.
What were you going to say, Debbie? Were you going to say something?
Yeah. Our next stage of development with the state is working to bring that knowledge that Chrissy's talking about out more with the kids. And we're going to be able to do that through some data collection. So simple things like helping them monitor their sleep. And let's talk about, how do you sleep on days that you CrossFit versus you don't? Or let's look at the kids who do CrossFit and the kids who don't CrossFit. Because when they're in a detention center like that, we can monitor a whole lot, right? And we'll have a lot of data collection, things like that, versus how does the brain comprehend stress with the kids who CrossFit versus the kids who don't. Yeah. So if Johnny is in the CrossFit program and he gets a call from home that his aunt passed away, how does he handle that stress versus Tim, who isn't in the program and has a similar call, right? So there's a ton of things that the state actually is developing. We're working with an app developer for it. And along with the state, they've developed a kind of a board, if you will, of people who are working on the data collection part of it.
I had a Fee Sagafi on here yesterday, and she's a CrossFit Games athlete, and she stumbled upon becoming an athlete on accident. She didn't get into the explicit details, but she was in college and she was 19 years old, and obviously she had some very, very traumatic experience happen to her. Yeah. And she basically went into hiding in her dorm room
Wow.
And she hit rock bottom, right? Like, hey, I'm done with life kind of shit.
Mhm.
And then she finds CrossFit and slowly starts to rebuild her perception of herself. Whatever traumatic experience her had shattered her perception of herself. She couldn't share it with anyone. And what I'm hearing, I could only imagine the kind of shit that's happened to these kids before they actually did what landed them
Mhm.
in that juvenile detention center. And I remember my wife telling me, she's like, I'm seeing the craziest shit. And I go, what? She goes, there's girls in the juvenile detention center who are there because of prostitution.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking to myself, so that's society's way of handling 15-year-old girls who are selling their body for sex. They have to fucking go to jail. Like, we got some fucked up, like,
Yeah. That's crazy.
that doesn't make any sense. And she's like, hey man, there's way more than you would even think. And so I can only imagine the baby steps Chrissy has to take. But I guess on the flip side, you have a very potent mechanism that gives immediate feedback. I'm guessing you see kids come in there and at minute one, and they're just like, fuck you. And when they leave, they're not even the same person. Like, they've gone through some sort of, like, because obviously all the chemicals get flowing in their body and they're alive. They landed in their body. They're out of their mind and now they're in their body, right? That's what I like to call it. That's what I tell my kids when they get tired, or they're you're in minute 2, you're at the end of a 2-hour tennis match, and I can see them starting to go into their heads. I'm like, stay in your body, stay in your body, stay in your body. Don't give up yet. I mean, right, Chrissy, you're seeing all that?
Oh gosh, I see it every time I'm there. I get
Like, them come out of their heads and go into their body, get to escape the fucking.
That's what
Talking
I tell
head.
them.
Yep.
That's why I tell them, I'm like, just move. They'll come in, sit down, and have this look on their face and not want to engage. And I just kind of like circle. I get the ones that are ready to go going. I circle back with my guys sitting in the corner. I get them. I kind of like give them little nudges. I mean, of course, there's some boys that are like, get away from me, lady. And I'm like, okay, there you go. Stay in the corner. But I can kind of like round them up and then talk about, you will feel better. I promise you. Like, this is the reason we do this. You will feel better. And then they participate. And afterwards, they're great. They're like, thanks. That feels great. And, going back to their life experiences, most, I would imagine, haven't had a lot of people, one, treat them with respect because of what they've done. And two, say, you know what, you're doing a good job. You know what? I'm proud of you. I've seen a lot of these boys long enough that I genuinely care for them and I want the best for them. And I found, like, if he comes in one day and is stubborn and is sitting in the corner, and I don't even have to give him my little like pep talk. I'll just kind of like put my hand on his shoulder and be like, let's go. And then afterwards he'll say, I feel so much better. Like, thank you. And I always just say, this is what it's all about,
Yeah. Can you paint the picture of what it looks like for a class real quick? So you're inside this room. What does it look like? Like, does it look like an actual affiliate? There's a rig like there, or is it just basically a big empty room with equipment?
So when they first started the program and ordered everything, as Debbie said, she walked in, it looked like a Snap Fitness. So it was kind of like, what are we going to do with all this? So they pushed all that equipment back. We have pull-up bars and stuff there, but what I've learned, it takes a while for things to happen. So we utilize the bars that are kind of like off of the machines, but it's barbells, it's, the walls painted for wall balls, it's plates, it's everything. It's just what we have to do is we have to move it out every time and move it back in, because we can't leave kettlebells and stuff like that out for these boys. So if you were to look in, it would look like a normal gym space, but we have to make everything mobile to take things in and out. So essentially the only thing that's going to stay are the bars on the wall.
Yeah. And then so what, they come in, do you have a whiteboard that you gather them around in a workout of the day, and it sets up like a normal class would?
Yeah. So the biggest thing that happens is I plan for a class of 15. I set it up like a standard class. I get 2 boys, So I have all of this laid out, and I'll just look at the boys and be like, what do you want to do today? What do you want to work on? And I can make a fast pivot and do something else with them, you know. In a perfect world, it would run like my affiliate and do, you know, a perfect class, everything in. But because I work with so many like curveballs of timing, you know, they have to have an interesting thing is the movement in the halls. So like the units or the pods can't interact until they're in my space. Sometimes my class doesn't start until like 20 minutes into my time slot. So I have to pivot again, you know? So the big goal is to have it as a standard class. But I would be lying if I said it works like that all the time. We do get it, but there's, you know, we're working with a lot of factors every day that I go in.
You have to be flexible with it. And I imagine a lot of emotions come up. I mean, being in the gym for 10 years and coaching for as long as I have, you get people that get halfway through a warm up, or they start to get out of breath, they get uncomfortable, whatever they're doing with that day comes to the surface, and they're like, I need to go outside. I'm upset, or I need a little space and stuff like that. So I imagine that happens quite a bit there too, right?
Absolutely. I can see it in some of the boys I've gotten to know.
That doesn't happen to boys. That only happens to girls.
Oh, that's a
The other thing
comment.
too is Chrissy has developed an incredible relationship with the staff. So there are always staff in the room with her, for lack of a better term, security guard style. And with what we've developed with the state, we do within that scope of 15 people in the class. If there's a staff or two who wants to join the class, they're allowed to join as an athlete and work out.
Do they do
beside
that?
me.
Do they join?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. And
Hey,
I mean, I know
is that really true though? Is that really true? Because my wife would say she'd go there and they say they would have staff in the room and there wouldn't be. Even when my wife went to San Quentin, sometimes she'd be like the only one in the room. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Let me tell you what 10 men are doing if you're alone in the room with them in their head.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I may be
Sorry,
little
Debbie. I didn't mean to call you out. I just remember my wife being like, dude,
Nope.
I'm all alone with these guys.
Nope, you're good.
It happens. I mean, I think I'm a little too comfortable sometimes. But the staff is comfortable with me. And sometimes if they have to do movement, I am in there by myself. But, I mean,
And we established from day one that we went in there with the youth that this is your program. Like the first day that I went in there, we had a long talk about this is history in the making. This doesn't exist anywhere else. And this is what it could do for you. In here, this is what it could do for you when you're released. If you want to ruin the program, cool. It's your program. It's not my program. So if you're mad and you want to chuck a dumbbell at somebody, that's on you. But know that out of the 15, you're one person, and now you have 14 kids ready to come after you.
Yeah, because you're ruining it for them.
So they do have ownership in that.
Yeah, no question. Yep. The second facility that we're opening is in Circleville. It's a Circleville Correctional Facility. They've got a 35 by 40 room, block wall, concrete floor, completely empty. So there's nothing there. So when we walked in, we visited with Kyle Hangrowski, who is the owner of Southern Columbus. Yeah, Southern Columbus CrossFit. He's going to be our GM there. And they literally looked at everyone and said, okay, what do we need to have? The state, what do we need to have in this room to make it a CrossFit affiliate?
Wow.
So he said, well, you need flooring, and here's a list of $35,000 worth of product from Rogue. And they're like, great. 2 days later, they called and said, hey, we've got everything on order. So essentially, they are building an affiliate as we go. Cuyahoga was kind of our learning session there, right? We're trying to do everything better. So he's going to walk into his first CrossFit class in what would look like an affiliate anywhere in the world.
Yeah. And if you think about the cost for the state, that's nothing, $35,000. And like how Debbie was saying, once you guys quantify a lot of this stuff that they're experiencing, then you could hand that over and be like, look, here's the results on paper.
Yeah.
Not to mention the qualitative data that you're getting with they're in a better mood, they're becoming leaders, they're getting out quicker, they're assimilating into society much better. Yeah, that's amazing. That's really cool. Do you guys have anything in the Bay Area? Sorry, selfish question. You guys have anything coming in the Bay Area soon? I mean, we got a lot of a lot of opportunity out here.
We would love, Matt, to start something in the facility, like in your facility.
Yeah.
So we worked with Craig Howard, been phenomenal. Craig had started a program but didn't get the local buy-in from the judge and the support to really finish it. So he started it, but we're always looking for places
What's
like
that look
yours
like,
that
Matt?
would-
What's that look like? I'm so curious how someone doesn't get behind this program. What's that look like?
Yeah. So it's interesting. The judge that we talked to first is one of Craig's members. She's a Superior Court judge. She leads judges in his area, and fell in love with the program right away. Here's the problem. In the state of California, because it's so liberal, they don't send kids to detention centers, and they may have kids on community what I'm trying to say, monitoring by the state, but there's no money and there's no requirement for that child to do anything after he or she is arrested. That's how poor it is in the state of California. The state says, nope, we're not going to spend any money there. Matter of fact, we're not even going to throw them in jail. We're going to come in, slap them on the wrist, say, hey, you got a fine, go on about your day. And this judge was extremely upset with the state of California and the way they're handling juveniles that are in trouble. It's almost like, hey, you want to go rob a bank? No problem.
That is the exercise program here. Run into a Nordstrom's and carry out as much shit as you can.
And there's no punishment there. There's no punishment.
Oh, we know.
And that's frustrating even for those in state government that look at where California is at and going, we're broke, like we're going backwards quickly. So that's it. I know Clydesdale Media had a really good question about bipartisanship. So at the end of the day, Governor DeWine is the governor. He was just reelected. Yes. Is it very politically driven? Of course it is. There's two reasons for that. One, we're called rehabilitation. If a kid is on probation in the county that he or she live in, they go to court, but they don't go to prison. They're just monitored. The state pays for that. Let's say it's $75 a day that they have to pay for that kid to be in a monitored situation. You send that kid to a short-term detention center, like if they're there 2 or 3 days or a week, it jumps to $150 per night for their stay. You send them into Chrissy's location at a prison, it's $325 per night stay that is billed back to the county, which comes from federal or state dollars. So if you've got a kid that's sentenced for 2.5 years, do the math. That's what it's costing the state, us as taxpayer, to house that. So if there's a program,
that's over $100,000 a year. Yeah,
for one kid. So if there's a program that reduces the risk of that individual ever getting to prison, the state's behind it. Doesn't matter at that point. You can pull the politicalness out of it because I'm lowering costs for the state of Ohio, right? Yeah. And that's the goal. So we try to work inside of the state with as many people as we can to show the data, because it's all data driven. Yeah. Here's the success rate. Here's what we're working with to continue that buy-in. I'm reducing state costs and I'm keeping kids and adults off the street.
Yeah.
And doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum you live on, that's a success. If that makes sense.
What Scott's saying, when I talk to Matt, Matt works with a lot of firefighters, and when Matt would tell me that basically, like, Matt could have 200 clients or something from a fire academy, and then a captain retires and the whole program could go away just at someone's whim. They could give it to their brother-in-law down the street who's working people out of the garage. Like, it is. For sure. It's some fucking crazy shit. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with the Army contracts that CrossFit has. There is a lot of dislike for CrossFit, but if you get one general in there who knows, like, oh shit, this CrossFit's the real deal, then it will flourish. But in a moment's notice, that shit could vanish.
Right. Yep. So one of the things, if you're the politician in office, you get bragging rights for the program. You're the next politician in office with the data we have. You don't want to be known for cutting the program that has this kind of data, right? Right. The difficult part when we're working with counties who
and do
may
you provide
not
them with that too, like
always.
As part of your plan. Yeah, like, hey, dude, like, we're gonna also give you this sheet of paper so you can brag when you run again.
Oh, no for question.
Sure. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And then, so some of the counties, when we have a difficult time getting buy-in right away, it's typically your areas where you have judges who may have been there for like 100 years, and we've never done it this way, and we're not going to do it this way, and change is not good.
Yeah.
So it takes a little bit.
And they don't exercise, and they don't take care of themselves. I bet you look at those judges
Right.
and you're like, yep, you don't know shit.
100%. You
Yeah.
already know. Yeah.
Yeah, what are you talking about? We got psychiatric meds for those kids. You're
Yeah,
fucking-
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, it's really kind of cool how the whole program has grown up. But this, because of the relationship we've been able to develop with the state, they have been, and we'll talk about this in a little bit. They've been asking us to help with State Highway Patrol, the academy. How do I train patrolmen and women at the academy? And then, we're starting to do 2 events a year. The MRF 9/11 event for all State Highway Patrolmen and women to participate in. That's driving people to the affiliate so they can do it at the affiliate. And then the 9/11 event. So
What was the first one? I thought you said 9/11 twice. What was the
He
first?
did.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
We do MRF with the State Highway Patrol Academy. So the Friday before, so we go in to the academy and we train them and get them ready. And then the Friday before Memorial Day, we go to Rogue with the State Highway Patrol Academy and we do MRF with them. So it's the same
That's
thing.
that's the 9/11 event.
That's for Memorial Day.
Memorial Day. Okay, sorry.
And then for 9/11, because State Highway Patrol and first responders, especially State Highway Patrol, there's such a great need for them to be on the road during Memorial Day weekend. We've also started a 9/11 event, which will include all first responders. So we developed a workout last year called The Climb with the state, with Mayhem and a couple of other people. And it's going to be pushed out. It was pushed out last year kind of on a just a trial basis to see what would happen, but it's open from the top down, from the State Department. It's pushed out to all first responders with a letter of intent that says, we'd love to encourage you to go to your local CrossFit affiliate. Click here to find the map, to find your CrossFit affiliate, and join them. And the state provides T-shirts, and it's a whole thing to, again, grow that same camaraderie that we're doing with these kids.
How many first responders are there in the state of Ohio?
I couldn't tell you. I know that the email list last year went to about 30,000 different email addresses.
And how many affiliates are there in Ohio?
190.
Okay. So when I raise my kid, the way I raise my kids is when they do something that I like, I reward them. So I came home the other day and my kid's like, hey, look at this story I wrote that's 2 pages long. And he comes out of his room and he's got it all stapled. And like, there's a million other things I'd rather do, but I'm like, hey, I need him doing more of that shit. I just drop everything and I sit down and I read it in front of the whole house and I glorify him. You're telling me that twice a year, CrossFit Crave has facilitated the state of Ohio sending out a mass email to what we all know is the base of CrossFit worldwide, which is first responders, encouraging them to go into one of the 190 affiliates.
Yep.
Okay. And you do that. That happens twice a year.
Yeah.
So
Easy now. I can see where he's going. Like,
why the fuck? Why don't the affiliates just pay you their affiliate fees? If you live in the state of Ohio and you're wondering why you pay your affiliate fees, maybe you should send them to Matt Shindeldecker.
We'll take them.
There's no
100%.
one better that you want in your affiliate than a fucking firefighter, a cop, EMT. How the fuck? Like, you should be brought out. This should be posted on the main page. CrossFit should be sending out an email once a month glorifying you, because I want to reward you, because then I want other affiliate people to be like, oh shit, I'm fucking tripping. I can't think of anything that HQ, even in the time that I've worked there, that's more valuable than what you do during those 2 weeks a year. I'm fucking tripping. I'm tripping. How? This is like if I'm an affiliate there and I don't give a fuck about anything except the bottom line, I'm like, yeah, Matt brought in 2 firefighters came in one time and 2 cops the other time. And guess what? One of them signed up their whole family programs, and we make an extra $3,000 a year because of what Matt did. And if every affiliate did that and there's 190, That's
Yep,
fucking
yep,
a $570,000 or something like that you pumped into the Ohio affiliate ecosystem. I'm just not. I'm just
with
not.
a roadmap of
This
how you
doesn't
could do it at
sound.
every
This doesn't
affiliate.
sound real to me. And it's no cost to CrossFit to glorify you. It's
No.
zero cost.
Right.
And they don't have people there who can do anything anyway. It's just all management. All they do is copy and paste anyway. It just is that way. I just know that.
Yeah,
There's not like they don't have great people like me there who can do everything. Like, you know what I mean? Like I can clip my toenails and make a movie. And I just fucking don't get it. I'm fucking tripping.
The thing that hits me with this is I'm not a numbers person.
And I don't want to beat them down and belittle, sorry, Debbie, and belittle what you're doing, like add drama to it. But I just don't. I just don't get it.
The most
I just want to hear one argument. Well, you know, Matt Shindeldecker does a lot of blow on the weekends, and we don't want that. I mean, like, what the fuck is gonna? What's the?
Incompetence.
Even if
I'll
I don't
answer
give
it
a
for
fuck
you.
about your program, what I really want is one person in every state like you, and then I'm Jay DeCoons, and I just kick my feet up on the desk.
Yep. And just support them.
Yeah, just
give them the
support them.
resources. Give them the resources. Give them the loudspeaker, and let them go.
Yeah, just come on over. Just support. I mean, what a great. Those are the best people to work with. Just support people and let them do all the work. Just love on them.
Yeah. The email that was sent out actually had CrossFit.com's website. So you click on it, interactive map, click on it, and it narrows down to wherever your demographic is.
You mean what the state puts out? You mean what the state puts out?
Yeah. Their letter has the link to CrossFit affiliates, the map right in their letter when it goes out. Now, this year we're going to start way earlier than we did last year. The state's going to create a registration site. If the guy wants a shirt or the girl wants a shirt, they're going to create a registration site so the first responder can log in, register. It will help them guide them to their local affiliate so they can at least make a phone call to the affiliate and says, hey, are you participating in this 9/11 climb? Yes or no, I'd love to come participate. I'd love to come do the climb with you there, right? So it's really big. Potentially it could be really big. And Dale's doing the same thing. Dale King, working with the state.
Oh, Dale makes soap. Shut up. Dale doesn't.
Yeah.
Make soap.
Yeah.
He makes tooth powder and soap. Dale.
Yeah.
Dale's just hanging out making soap.
That's right. This is a little known fact, between Dale and the group in the state of Ohio. If you're a state highway patrolman today and you want to go to an event, you want to do a CrossFit event, the state will put you on active duty and pay you to go work out. Not
your day-to-day membership, but an event like Murph or a 5K that you're doing or something.
So Dale's having a competition very soon where the state
By the way, for people who don't know, Dale's the owner of CrossFit Portsmouth. He's the executive producer of the documentary
Small Town Strong.
Thank you, Small Town Strong. And he's also the producer of and distributor of the Matuthian tooth powder, the greatest thing you could do for your face. But an amazing guy, and facilitated people, empowering a lot of human beings and saving their lives.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on. Thank you.
So those individuals that will go, the state highway patrolmen and women that will go to Dale's gym for that competition, the state will, if they clock in that morning, just like they're going to their job, and they will get paid for that 8 or 6 hours that they're working out in his competition, which is, that's perfect, right? I'm paying now for a state patrolman, man or woman, to gain fitness, to be fit, and they get a paycheck for that.
That's how I'd want my tax dollar spent too.
Thank you.
Right.
Exactly.
100%.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
When we do our trauma training, we spend probably an hour and a half, sometimes more, talking about suicide prevention. And I saw somebody in the comments, coaches, there's a large number of coaches who have had suicide conversations with other coaches or their athletes, but yet are not equipped to do that. So that's one of the things that we do. And part of the reason for that is what I just stated, but also the number one cause of death for first responders, especially firefighters, is suicide. It's not lung disease or anything like that. It's suicide. Yeah. So everything that we do in CrossFit, whether it's CrossFit Crave or whether it's whatever CrossFit, it's relationship based, or it should be.
Mhm.
It's relationship based. And if we can give the first responders a community, just like we're doing for the youth, we're changing that as well.
Mhm.
Mhm.
No question.
By the way, also to say something positive about CrossFit, Matt and Dave Castro just went to the state capitol in California, and they got a CrossFit day
Yeah, that's awesome.
in the state of California. So it was John Lavelle. Do you remember the politician? Which politician it was?
Yeah, it was Bill Saley, Assemblyman Bill Saley.
Bill Staley. And as you might know, and I apologize for doing this, but speaking of partisan, this guy's a Republican. And why is he Republican? Because one of the foundations of being conservative is personal accountability and responsibility. And I'm not saying that there aren't a lot of great CrossFitters out there who aren't Democrats, but this guy got booed for bringing this up.
Yeah, he got booed.
And
Yeah.
and there's it's
Wow.
fucking nuts. So
Mhm.
it's anyway.
And-
So this program that Chris, this 120 number that you mentioned in the beginning of the podcast. So right now the footprint of this program is there are it's embracing these 2 workouts every year that the state of Ohio has embraced, and pushing all first responders, 30 or 40,000 of them, into CrossFit gyms. There is also this very potent arm where Chrissy is running this first program inside a juvenile detention center where the recidivism rates are down from 75% to 23%. And then there's an outpatient program that's run at CrossFit Crave, where they actually come in there with their probation officers and they work through that program instead of going to a juvenile detention center. What's this 120 number? Are those affiliates around the world who have reached out to you and been like, hey, I want a piece?
Yeah, those are the affiliates in the US and Canada who have said we want to do the outpatient, the juvenile probation program. Debbie
Okay.
could help. And so that's what we've done is we've kind of formed an extension.
Mhm.
Oh,
where-
and hold on, and I apologize. With the launch, and then there's the third piece also, there's the launch of the sister program to Chrissy's program, which is underway. That was the 35 by 40 foot room.
Yep, that's another prison.
Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure that I understood the entire landscape. Okay, so
Yep.
sorry, Debbie, go ahead. So that 120 is Canada, North America.
Right, affiliates who have said, hey, we have a heart and we want to start the juvenile probation program.
Mhm.
So when an affiliate, we have a large number of affiliates who contact us, like Matt said, and said, hey, we heard about it on Sevan and we think we would be a great fit. So we have a conversation about it. And then we talk about what the process looks like to start contacting your county or your government and going from there. And then we work with the county and the affiliate, kind of partner them together, because there's a lot of logistics that happen from, hey, this is a great idea, and day 1 of class,
Mhm.
right? And so we work with them to get all of that up and running. And then once it's running, we also provide continued support, because an affiliate owner, once you open your doors, you're not done needing help, right? You still need help. Hang on one sec.
My dad answered his phone. Sorry for the background.
Hey, yeah, you can
Yeah.
rake the leaves in the front yard. Yeah.
He's deaf too, so
I can
he's-
tell.
he's got
That's
us-
awesome.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, what's my dad doing at your house? Everyone's like, what's my dad doing?
That's right. Yeah, one of the
Hey,
one of the things, Yeah.
Matt, do you guys have a champion in what's the city you're in?
we're in Salina, Ohio.
Do you have a champion in Salina, like someone who sits on the mayor there, where you can call another city and be like, hey, or someone,
Yep.
the affiliate who like vouch to other mayors in other cities for you? Is that like,
Yep.
how is this gonna, like, is there gonna be a tipping point where this just starts spreading everywhere?
Yeah,
Like,
we
when
will
are we gonna get on and there's 20 of them that are active?
Yeah, well, there's
We have about 15 that are active right now.
Oh shit!
Who have programs running. Yeah.
And
We did-
all in the state. In what states are those in?
all over. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot in Ohio. We have one in Chicago
Mhm.
that has some great stories too. We have one in Texas. We have one in Washington, D.C.
Do you guys know CrossFit Trident, Chris Smith?
Yes,
He's got one.
great
and
guy.
He came to a retired Navy SEAL. He did the row across the Atlantic with those. Yeah, he
With
came to our
Tosh, yeah,
training.
he's a great
Tosh,
guy. Yeah.
He actually had an athlete who didn't have his L1 who heard about this on your show, who then contacted us, came like the following week to our trauma training, went and got his L1 to be able to coach and start this program, went back to Chris, the
Chris.
owner, and said, hey, we're going to do this. And so then Chris came to the trauma training as well. And then they run the program together.
They run the
Are
program.
are these affiliates making money off of this program? Is it sustainable?
Oh yeah. So again, remember the state pays for the kids to be there, and how we set this up with the state and the affiliate is, what is your membership rate? Let's say your membership rate's $100 a month or $150, whatever it is. We negotiate that with the county or the city that you're moving into. And let's say you have 15 kids in your program. Well, you take that 150 times 15, and that's your monthly bill to the state. And that's paid just by an invoice, straight invoice. What is that? 15 times 150?
A lot of
2,000?
money.
A lot of money.
It's a significant amount of
take
members.
Caleb's
A
job.
signif-
Don't Caleb has
Yeah.
a calculator.
Well, that's
Caleb's job.
significant as an affiliate owner. If you could have 15 new members into your
Good job.
gym
Right.
and host them for 3 months and eventually turn them back either to be contributors as a coach or somebody that does something,
Right.
or just a long-standing member because you plugged them with the job, that's very significant pipeline for an affiliate.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
There
Look
you
at that.
go.
20.
There you
There
go.
you go. So
Yeah.
that's the
That's a
revenue.
month. That's a month.
Yeah.
That's a month. Right.
That's a month.
When
That's
we,
a yeah.
when we were shut down, I opened early though, but when we were shut down through COVID, the state never missed an invoice to us, never skipped a beat paying, because
They can just
we-
print money. That's what's cool about the government.
we were hosting the juvenile kids that were home on a Zoom call.
Mhm.
On a Zoom, they did a workout via Zoom, and the program
That's
just kept
amazing.
rolling, and the money kept rolling in.
Are most of the programs successful? Like, what is it flowing?
Yeah.
Do
So
some
one
people
of the
get into a program and they're like, "Ooh, I can't do this. I can't handle this."
well,
Mhm.
that's one of the things we vet the affiliates
Kids are
Um,
gnarly.
because I don't have a problem saying no to an affiliate
Yeah.
that I'm not going to be able to work with you right now.
Mhm.
Right. And there that has happened. That's also happened with some non-CrossFit gyms. And I'm not saying you can't do it in a non-CrossFit gym. There are gyms who we're helping do this. Right.
Mhm.
But if you don't have the community, then you're not going to be successful at the program.
Mm.
The other thing with it is, just like any CrossFitter, these kids love to complain about CrossFit. Right. So they go home or they go to school.
They brag
Just
about
like
it.
Chrissy's kids, they don't only talk about CrossFit when they're in the room.
Mhm.
They talk about CrossFit back at the pod. They talk about CrossFit in the hallway. They talk about CrossFit to the guards who are doing it with them. And so that $22.50 that you're getting a month from the county could increase because you've got school resource officers who come, or parents who come, or again, you build the community and it's going to grow your community and keep growing and keep growing.
Mhm.
So it's very sustainable.
Yeah.
There's kids walking out of Chrissy's program and they're like, "Dude, I lifted 225 pounds off the ground today." And some other kid's like, "No, you didn't." He's like, "Dude, come to the program.
Come check it
Dude,
out.
you could do it too in 2 months."
That's exactly what's happening. Ever since we got rid of the PVC, majority was PVC, and brought the barbells in, the engagement is like crazy, and they're young boys. They're competing with each other. I mean, there's a lot
Yeah,
of from
it's an
like, chill
outlet.
out, let's be safe, like we don't need this program shut down. But I mean, it's crazy. There was a kid that I think he's like 17 and he back squat 455 pounds, like
Holy
nothing.
smokes.
Nothing.
And a
And
40-pound weight loss has got to be just, all the other kids saw that too. They must have
Oh,
been
yeah.
tripping. They must have been like, "Okay, I want some of that."
yep.
Mhm.
And then, we have the guys that want to gain muscle, and the guy, it's awesome to see them like really thinking about, because when I leave, I think about it and I'm like, they probably don't even think about these things. One, their youth. Two, who knows what their environment that they're coming from. And now it's like saying, all right, you want to be stronger, you want to back squat 455, here are the things I need to see you do, and you're going to work towards a goal, and we're going to clear your head, and you're going to come in here focused. And it's wonderful to see.
That might be the first time those kids have some sort of vision of themselves in the future and accomplishing something that is positive for them, and doing the in discipline to work toward it than to like have that accomplishment at the end. My this resonated pretty much because one of my cousins was in and out of the system. He went in at 13 for armed robbery, and he came out at 18, went back in, came out at 21.
Sure, your
went back
cousin.
in. I got some stories, bro. And now he's behind bars for the rest of his life in San Quentin. And
damn.
one of the things that I always just thought about too is like there was nothing there. That like he had no vision for himself. Then okay, well I'm out. Let me go grab a pistol. Let me go hold up a couple pharmacies. Now I got some drugs, and I'll make this and get some more money. And boom, right back into that cycle. And it dawned on me because he only knew that as I need to go into Walmart and steal this or that because I'm going to come back and bring that to my mom, and she's going to be stoked because now she could use that for drug money. And he's like, that's the only way he found validity in himself, right? To like Sevan said, his son writes a paper and he goes, oh crap, we need to sit down and read this, right? For my cousin, it was like, oh, you showed up with this, awesome, we could go buy drugs.
Wow.
And so that was what he had, right? And so to be able to take these kids and do what you guys are doing and then switch that mechanism in their brain to something positive that they're doing for themselves is extremely powerful.
You know,
Lee,
going on. Oh, sorry.
Hold on one second. No, you'll be up next, Chrissy. Lee Trosh, Lee. Hey, Lee. Oh, Lee. Wow, great donation. Matt, Debbie, and Chrissy, you are amazing. Is your Venmo account at @first_lady? First
Last.
Take two. At @first_last.
No.
Don't send money there.
Don't send money there. I don't know who that is. Don't send money at all. We're not in it to get money. That's the
Just leave
notoriety.
whatever you want to give them. Just donate more to the show. Thank you.
Give it to Sevan.
Give it to Sevan. You know, our goal, and that's why we promote Chrissy. Anytime we talk about the facility, it's not us saying, well, look what we've done. It's Coach Chrissy and her staff. Look at what they've done. It's her program. It's not ours.
What were you gonna say, Chrissy?
I was going to say, going off what he just said, that a lot of these boys in conversation I've had with them, their lives are better within, you know, these facilities, particularly the facility I'm at. It's when I first started, I was like, it's so nice to see that they're in dorms, you know, they don't just lock them up and say like, see ya, you know, they're not rude to them all the time. Obviously they have to keep them in line, but they're seen, you know, their staff members I've seen there that like they view as like a grandmother figure and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, we're working in the right direction here. We're heading this way. We don't want these kids to go back out, reoffend, and then want to come back here because it's the only time they're ever seen, you know, and just continue that cycle over and over and over again.
Do you look forward to going to that class?
I do. I mean, as I'm slowly learning, I didn't want to know the offenses in the beginning just because I wanted to go in, you know, clean slate. As I'm learning, some of my favorites are murderers, all of them. So it's like, I look forward to see, feel like I'm helping or changing these boys. And that's not selfishly. It's like, okay, you murdered someone, but at the same time, like you still have a chance to have life. Okay. I'm not going to see you just as that person. Is it terrible? Absolutely. It's awful. But at the same time, I want to develop a relationship with you and see that you're worthy of someone caring about you and wanting you to have goals and wanting you to get better. We're not just going to say, all right, you messed up. See ya. We're just going to keep you locked up the rest of your life. So it's very gratifying to walk in and know that, you know, today might be the day that one of the kids is going to tell me they're getting released soon. I mean, that happens often. I'll walk in, they'll be like, Chrissy, guess what? I have 2 weeks, you know, and I love it.
How long have you been there?
It'll be a year, the end of May.
It's interesting how, I mean, like when you said that, like I'm shocked, like to my core, because I don't hang out with any murderers. Do you know what I mean? But for you, it's a 2-day-a-week event. Yeah, and it's wild to see. It's wild. I'm guessing that if you weren't excited to go to class every day, that it's not doable.
It's hard. I mean, it's mentally, it's a lot. Some days I walk out. I think my twins have prepared me for all emotional, to have the strength in the world.
Right.
But I'm not going to act like it's all sunshine and rainbows. I mean, there are times I walk out and I'm like, oh my God. But I just view it as, I just try to think to myself, all right, it's more than this. It's more than this. And I come back and then I'll have a great group. It's just, I love it. And I can see through the bad times because when it's good, it's great.
You're putting something, you're seeing people with an amazing opportunity right in front of them, and sometimes they don't grab it. It's like kids. Often they don't grab it. You take them out to eat, you buy them a $60 steak because you're at a fancy restaurant, and they're like, I don't want to eat it. And you're like, are you out of your fucking mind? Like they want to eat a bowl of cereal. And it's like, I'm guessing it's like that. You go there and you see, hey guys, we're in this room and we have an hour, and 100%, not even 99%. If you listen to me, you're going to leave here better. You're going to feel better. You're going to think better. And sometimes only 5% of the boys will grab at it. Right. And you're just like, and so that's the tough part, right? Because you know something. Yeah. When I work with developmentally disabled adults, I learned this sort of this method, and it's useful everywhere in life, is always address the person, don't address the behavior.
That's right.
And that's really, really hard, right?
Mhm.
When someone's like, fuck you. And I'm sure you get a lot of fuck yous. Fuck you.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
All right. You know,
Maybe
like,
not to my face, but I'm sure.
but you hit, oh, and you really, you don't hear that in there? They have do they have when they're all together, they have a kind of like they live up to a certain social responsibility?
So it's interesting you say that. As I'm learning, you figure out who the head guy is. So if this guy is in here, they're all going to listen. If he's not, it's craziness. And when you're mixing the pods or the units, there are times kids come down to pass contraband and then they leave, and they've picked up on those things. But in the beginning of class, it's rowdy because they never see each other and everyone's excited and they're, I really have to like reel them in. But
yeah, no doubt. One of the latest programs that were started in the community it's in Chicago. It's Iron Flag Fitness. Jared and Kelly McGriff Culver. He is a NFL lineman or a linebacker for the Raiders. Come back, open his affiliate. He saw Debbie and I and Dr. Kuhn speak 2 years ago at the CrossFit Games. We had a speaking engagement. And out of that conversation, he come up and says, hey, I got to start a program in my city. And I'm like, well, where's that at? Well, it's the east side of Chicago. Oh, wow. And by the way, I've got a connection. So he sets us up with a judge in the east side of Chicago. We get a program running. It started last month.
No, started in January.
Started in January, going off the rails, popular. Just, so here's a guy that's truly giving back to the community that he came out of. Was extremely successful in his life, played in the NFL, but he's got a heart, and so does Kelly, to say, hey, I want to help the kids that need it the most. And we are in the highest crime-ridden city in the world, right? Chicago. And they're helping. That's the cool part about it.
One of his first stories, and he would love to share it.
Yeah.
He shared it. We do a monthly call with the affiliates we have up and running for support and data and things like that. And he was telling us that in probably 2 weeks in, one of the boys showed up with brass knuckles. And you can't really bring that. And so the probation officer who was bringing him was like, he's out. He's done. That was his shot. He's done. And Jared went to the probation officer and went to the court and said, absolutely not. He needs to know he can't bring it. And that was a bad choice. Just like all these kids. They're not bad kids. That was a bad choice. And I want him back. I want him back the very next class. I don't want him to go to JDC for this. He needs to know the standard. He needs to know the expectation. And he needs to know the expectation that he's back. And the kid had never in his life ever had anyone fight for him. So it was a flip of the switch. I mean, he's 100% all in, effort, bringing the other kids in, getting them excited, because he'd never seen that before. He didn't think he was valued enough for anyone to fight for him.
Yeah.
Jared will have that kid for life.
Wow. Hey, that's the only value of playing in the NFL, by the way. And Fisa Goffi said it yesterday. The only value of being a professional athlete is what you parlay it into. So this guy's a professional athlete. So obviously, he can call a judge and be like, hey, I'm so-and-so. I played for the Raiders. The judge is probably a football fan. They start talking. He's like, hey, judge, can you do me a favor? And, and obviously the guy's a hard worker. He made it to the NFL. But that's the only value of being a
Mhm.
professional athlete is what are you going to do? Our only value as human beings is what we do for other human beings.
Thank you.
Mhm.
If you run a hot dog stand, you're selling hot dogs. Thank you. You're a musician. You're on the street corner. You're playing music for us to listen to. Thank you. You're out
Yeah.
there begging. You're not adding any value. You're not adding any value to society. Hey, those people who are adding the most value to society, I guarantee you, there's a direct relationship to their happiness too.
Oh,
Oh,
People
for
who
sure.
are not contributing are not happy. Every
Agreed.
miserable person you see, angry person you see, like it's because they're not giving.
Yep.
Mhm.
This
I know it
state-
sounds cliche and I sound like an old man, but
This-
fuck, it's what I've learned.
this statement goes along exactly with what you're saying. And we use this when we talk to counties. And the statement goes this way: a child who does not feel embraced by its community will burn it down to feel its warmth.
Wow.
And that summarizes exactly what you just said. And
Hey,
that goes for
the
adults too.
microcosm is having 3 kids at home too. If a kid doesn't feel warmth, they'll fucking burn your fucking house down. You're right. You're right. They will. They will. They'll wreak fucking havoc if they don't feel if they're not getting the wow.
And that goes for the adult sector as well. If I'm an adult and I don't have a community where I feel embraced, I'm going to do everything I can to go against that community or find something that I do feel connected to. And a lot of times it's drugs, alcohol, theft, murder. You know, Chrissy was talking about murders. One of the biggest questions we get, and we've worked with the Arizona Supreme Court in this same program. So it's gone from local county to Supreme Courts. Their first question is, okay, what kid don't you want? Because most of the programs that are pro-social for kids that are in trouble, they don't want the highest offenders. They don't want the murderers. They don't want the rapists. They don't want somebody that's committed high crime by a gun. In our world, just like Chrissy says, no, we want them. If there's a chance for rehabilitation, then we want to give them that opportunity.
Mhm.
I don't care where you come from or what your background is. If you're willing to change, then I should be, as an affiliate owner, as a human being, I should be willing to help foster that change. And the reason Chrissy's as successful as she is because
It's
she
a
has
lot
that
of
heart.
S's. It's a lot of S's,
Yeah.
Chris.
I know.
Yeah.
A lot of S's. But sorry, say that again, Matt. The reason why she's successful is what?
Is because she embodies that heart. She embodies that, listen, if you will give me a chance, I will change your life. And not everyone is wired that way, unfortunately. Not all CrossFit affiliates are wired that way.
Well, it's not easy too. I mean, you have to be in the right place in your life. It sounds like Chrissy's in that spot.
Yep.
Hey, I'm looking forward to our next conversation. Chrissy, thanks for coming on. How
No
do you say your
problem.
last name?
Impoletti.
Impoletti. Chrissy Impoletti.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Former mob.
Yeah.
Her husband runs one of those mafia gang related Impoletti. Get it?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the name sounds like it.
We can't talk about it. Okay.
And look at the wood paneling in that room.
Rich mahogany.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's where the family meets.
She's got a big stogie just off you can't see
Off
it.
the
It's
side,
smoking
you
a
And
big
a dead cat. All right, guys. Hey, thank you very much. I know this isn't the last time we'll do this. Talk to you guys in a few months. Great having you guys always on. Chrissy, thank you. All
Thank
you guys stay in touch. Matt, Debbie, you guys are amazing. Let me know if there's anything you ever want to come back on and talk about. I'm sure there is. We'll see you guys in a few months.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
See you
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, one last thing. Where do people get in touch with you?
Yes. So we have Expanding Horizons
Instagram page.
Instagram. And I need to give a shout out to Kelly, who I believe is listening here. A young lady that she had a rough life herself, was in prison for, I think I'm allowed to say this, Kelly, I'm sorry, but she was in a car accident that caused a death. She went to prison for a while, came out, got a hold of Dale King.
From
Wow.
this, from this podcast.
From this podcast, got a hold of Dale and said, hey, I want to try one of those juvenile things. Dale sent her our way. And now she runs all of our social media. And that
awesome.
just started happening like 3 weeks ago, because we're not savvy with anything like that. We can work in a court system, and on the floor of a CrossFit gym, I can't create a social media post.
What's the Instagram account?
Expanding Horizons.
Expanding Horizons. And so slip into the DMs there. And then
Yeah.
this lady, Kelly, will
Yep.
forward the okay. All right.
Yep.
Yep.
Or you can email me at debbie@crossfitcrave.com. Don't email Matt. He'll forget.
Debbie DEBBI at CrossFitCrave.com.
DEBBIE at
IE, thank you.
CrossFitCrave.com. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Chrissy.
Thank
guys.
you.
It's nice to meet you,
Yeah.
Chrissy.
Nice
Ciao.
to meet you.
Bye. I definitely got to do that. I got to figure out how to get that going here.
I'm going on a podcast today at 9:35.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Are you nervous?
No, well, I am a little nervous. I don't want to fuck it up. Jesus, dude, I'm fucking podcasting. I don't want to fuck it up. I don't do podcasts, but I really like Garrett and I want to hang out with her, and so it's a good excuse to like block off time and hang with her.
I'll do something in the private chat for you and Caleb.
I don't feel good. My stomach's been doing weird shit.
What do you mean? Like nauseous or like?
Do I know who this person is?
I just talked about him.
Oh shit. Wow.
Is this
Yeah,
new?
bro.
Oh, damn. Oh,
No, it's old.
yeah.
Wow.
And you know what's funny there? It notes the length.
That's
of
your
what-
cousin?
Yeah, and it notes the length of what happened. For like 50% of that high speed chase, he was on the phone with my mom.
He's got his own nickname.
Yeah, bro.
He was a legit criminal.
Fuck yeah. He stole from me a lot when we were kids too.
That makes sense.
Like I made the joke, I think on here a couple of times when like my dad would be like, "All right, we're having the family over for Christmas. Hide your cash, boys.
No shit.
Tuck the PlayStation away." Yeah. Yeah, man.
Oh my God.
So he's just a big time drug dealer. Fuck.
Big time idiot. But it's hard to blame him because like the story that I was telling you about, hey, go in here and steal this because you're too young. And, you know, if you get caught, we're just going to play the game of, oh my gosh, he was in there doing, I am so sorry. It's
He
okay,
was
ma'am."
grooming you to be a crook?
No. My aunt was having him go into places.
Oh
and steal
shit. So he
Dude,
was grooming-
imagine 2 years ago, right? Because would you say that the twins are 7?
Yeah.
So imagine 2 years ago, you
I was telling
sending
the
Ari
twins-
and Joseph into a fucking Walmart and
To steal.
walking through the aisles and then saying, grab this, grab this, grab this. Mom will meet you at the front of the store. And that's what they're doing for your attention and for your affection.
Oh shit.
God,
And that's the only way to get attention.
Instead, I got him into tennis. I fucked up.
You idiot.
Yeah, I tried to send him the L1 probably like 5 or 6 years ago, and it was so hard to get into Quentin because you have to go page by page. Certain publications aren't allowed. You have to like mail it in small sections at a time. And
Haley
it's
had to do
bad,
that
dude.
several times. Someone in the prison wanted level 1, and so she'd have to send it page by page. It was fucking pointless.
Oh, I mean, 100%. And sometimes it doesn't even get to them, and it's like this weird position because you'll get a letter. Like I'd be joking with some of my like friends back in the day, and you would see like the mail, and I'd be like, "You guys ever seen one of these?" And it's like from San Quentin, you know. And so it has all the official mailing on it and how everything, all the markings that has to come from it, and you know, you'd read the letters from them and stuff like that, and yeah, it's a weird position because part of you wants to just be like, you know, you fucking did it to yourself, dude. Whatever. You hit an old lady in the head with a rock and carjacked her at a gas station. Like, I'm supposed to feel bad for you.
Yeah.
And then at the
Right.
same time, I know the history, right? Like he watched a gang in Manteca beat a guy to death with a 2x4. And when the cops questioned him, they didn't really offer him much in terms of protection. And so when he told the story of what happened, it wasn't long that the people who did it knew exactly who told.
Oh fuck.
And his idea for protection at that time, I mean, dude, he was 12 years old. So think about this in the case of Avi, like, you know, he's experiencing this 2 years from now at the life that he's at. And not to mention the ecosystem of a drug addict, right? Like, you know, all that would entail. And so, yeah, to watch somebody, to witness somebody get murdered and then to go to school and then have the cops storm in to where everybody sees it, pulls you out, and then arrest people right there. They know you fucking did it. And what are you supposed to do as that young 12-year-old, right? So then within 6 months, you're looking to find your own protection on the street. So you acquire a handgun, and now you're told, hey, imagine your fucking kids running around right now at their ages with a handgun, bro. And then you go into a liquor store and rob it. And within a few weeks later, they find you, and your only option is to run back into that store and confess to what you did for some sort of protection. And you ain't getting it at home.
Right.
And that's your introduction into the system.
And you're like, oh, this isn't so bad. They give me food and a bed and
Structure.
and then they'll send me out in a couple months or years, and
Yeah,
we'll do it
it's
again.
crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. Anyhow.
This is a good line along those lines. I know a guy who grew up in questionable circumstances, says Jeffrey Birchfield. He always tells people he had one brother who went to Penn State and one who went to the state pen.
Yeah, he was an
Good
only
one.
child at the time.
God, I went to dinner last night. Joseph climbs into bed with me. That's one of the twins, and he's sleeping. And then at 12:50, I hear some sounds, and he's sitting up, and he's just barfed all over the bed.
Oh,
And 2 days ago, he barfed in the middle of the night too. And then my other son, last night we went out to dinner, and I took one of my sons to the bathroom like 4 times. So there's got to be something going around in my family, like with our stomachs. Like I just can't get
going down.
I just feel like I'm on a roller coaster.
Yeah, damn, that sucks.
I know it does suck. It's weird, but I just drank a cup of coffee. It seems to be
Killed it off. Good.
Hey, but I did. I did pull this paper bag here in case I throw up on the show.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's dead serious. There's never like a bag in there like that. Like that for sure was taken from like Haley's stash of recycled bags and brought into that room.
You feeling it coming on?
I
You
know
get really
what just
sweaty
happened right there.
The whole show. I felt like I'm gonna throw up, but not like bad, not like my mouth's watering, but I can't get fully in my thoughts because a little bit of me is like like when you're like doing like when you crash on a bicycle, you're like automatically like, okay, you're laying there, you're doing like the Iron Man thing, you're running body scan, like.
Mhm.
Do you feel yourself get really sweaty right before you throw up? That's how.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right, yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
feeling because that actually also makes me feel like I'm about to be better.
Yes. Right.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
oh,
true.
my body's skyrocketing temperature it's like it's microwaving the bad guys.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, here we
About
go.
to hit the eject button.
Yeah, fuck you guys, we're gonna burn you fuckers.
It feels worse to like be nauseous than it is to actually throw up.
100%. That's like the worst part of it, just sitting there and like, oh.
Mm-hmm. Fucking horrible.
Dude, I was at dinner last night and I just heard something so crazy. I don't even know if this is the right show to say it on. But there were these people at the dinner table talking about why all the items, they're like, yeah, when you go into a CVS now, everything's locked up.
Mm.
Or when you go into a Walmart, everything's locked up. Or you go into a Target, everything's locked up. And I'm like, but you know why that is, right? And they're like, no, tell us. It's because of Joe Biden.
Did you ask them what they think it's from?
No, I'm like, no, seriously, do you know why it is? And they're like, no. I'm like, no, come on, seriously. I can't even fucking believe it. I'm like, you don't know why it is? And
What'd
they're
they
like,
say?
no. And I'm like, do you remember George Floyd? They're like, yeah.
Of course they do.
I just can't believe I can't believe there's someone, I don't know what world they live in. For those of you who don't know, this is what fucking happened. George Floyd happened, and then this huge wave of anti-cop sentiment happened along the same time with allow anyone with dark skin to steal whatever they want. And that might be a little bit exaggerated, but not much. It's the real simple explanation of what fucking happened. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. No COVID, no nothing. George Floyd OD'd on fucking fentanyl. He died with 3 times the fucking deadly dose. If they found you with dead in your house with 1/3 of what George Floyd tested for fentanyl, it would be considered a overdose. They found him with 3 more. But okay, let's say you don't think he killed himself. So then you turned it into some sort of racist thing, even though it was a black cop who was first on the scene who arrested him. What happened was George Floyd happened, and fucking liberal super racist America felt bad for how racist they were, and they let people, because of the color of their skin, commit any fucking crimes they want
Part of their
and not
culture.
arrest them. And so it's fucking the Great Purge. White liberal America is so fucking racist that they don't recognize skin color as a correlate. They think it's a fucking cause, and they've told every single fucking black person on this in the United States it's okay to steal, and they've told every cop if you arrest him, you're in big fucking trouble. That's it. End of story. That's fucking like exactly why. And same with the fucking trannies, same with the fucking pedophiles. Everyone's been let off the fucking hook because of racist fucking liberal America. That's it. There's nothing more to it. The catalyst, the tipping point was George Floyd. That's it. And so every fucking liberal politician is trying to stay in office by further pushing the racist agenda. That's it. I don't see how, like, what fucking rock did you live under that you don't fucking see this happening everywhere around you? It's fucking mind-boggling to me.
Did they offer anything?
No,
that's what I'm- that's what I'm curious, is
no.
like-
You know what they offer? Let's not talk about this. Do you know why they don't want to talk about it?
Because it's racist.
No, because they say shit like, well, we'll never get along, or we'll never fucking you'll never convince me, I'll never convince you. I'm not trying to fucking convince you.
It's just facts.
I'm stating the fucking facts, dude.
And how the fuck you
Interview
got to see
20
that?
fucking cops. They can all be black cops. They'll tell you the same fucking thing. It's all because of the fucking liberals are so fucking racist, and they have such a need for racism to fucking exist that they're just pushing it to the fucking up to extent. And their way of compensating for it is to let black America know you can steal whatever the fuck you want. You are the most entitled people ever. We will kiss your shoes. And what's happening? Stores everywhere are closing.
Wow.
No one wants to say that 51% of all the murders in this country are committed by people with black skin and have penises. That's 6% of the population. Because they conflate skin color as a cause and a correlate. And so it makes them uncomfortable. I get it. Then you don't have to say it, but stay the fuck out of the way for the people who can say it. Stop pretending like you care about people based on their skin color. You're getting fucking girls raped. You're getting fucking people's lives ruined.
You know what's crazy too is, like you said, stop caring about people because their skin color. They don't even care about those people. They only care about their self-image around their cohorts of
Exactly.
thinking people. It's like
Exactly.
they don't even, because if you actually fucking cared, you would look at the situation for what it was and start to make real progress towards helping and fixing it. Not just perpetuating the same bullshit that they implemented into the first place, and then all don't want to say things. Hey, dude, you've been around so many of these type of people where they'll agree and head nod with everybody, and then you kind of catch them and you're peeing in the urinal, they pee next, and they kind of leave. They're like, hey, dude, I hear what you're saying. I just don't want to say it in front of.
Oh my God, I'm surrounded by those fucking pussies.
Or you walk out of the restaurant together and they're like, hey, dude, I know where you're going with this, and I agree. I just didn't want to say anything and stuff. Yeah. And the worst ones, by the way, are the people with money, the people with the actual fuck you money, in the rich people that are too afraid to say anything because they're going to lose their audience, or they're going to lose some of their money in it and everything else. But they're not holding true to their beliefs, and they're freaking cowards.
I did see James Townsend's race results. I was trying to get him on this morning. I can't wait to hear. I want to hear the details, all the juicy details. I want to know what shoes he was wearing, what he was thinking. I invited him on. I think he was going to church or something. He's coaching. He said he could come on at 9, but I need to like take a break before I go on Glinton things. By the way,
Yeah.
let me see if I can find that
Yeah, can we link the podcast for people to watch?
Glinton things. I was so happy to see how shitty their thumbnail was. I was like, all right, they make some fucked up shit like we do too. I mean, not that our thumbnails are shitty, but that they did exactly. And I'll ask her. I'm like, you going for the Atari look on the thumbnail? Hold on. Let me. How do I share a link so people can? Oh yeah, I don't feel.
Put
good.
it in the
God
live chat.
damn it.
It's
not-
Odd suggested a little ginger. Have you tried a little home remedy of some ginger and soda water?
No, maybe I should.
A little sparkler and ginger.
I'm probably just gonna go get on the assault bike.
That could also help.
I can't figure out how to do a link.
I got it.
Oh, thank you.
Caleb's got us.
I was just like blown away. Like, how do you not know that that's what happened? Like, just pull over one cop and be like, hey, if you see a white guy swinging a box cutter around, or you see a black guy swinging a box cutter around, what do you do? If you see a black person, I mean, how do they fucking not know? Let's not even do the color thing. Why? What do they think happened to the collapse of they're watching the collapse of civilization, and they have no fucking like. We completely fucking emasculated our police departments.
Yeah, there's two really scary things happening. The first one is what you're talking about, essentially the lack of shoot, what's the word I'm looking for when you're being held
Enforcement
accountable?
of the laws,
The
enforcement of
lack
laws,
of the enforcement of the law, accountable for people's personal responsibility and inflation, which they're also refusing to admit what's happening with inflation. You even saw when we were watching the State of the Union, he was like, it's down to 3%. Like, fuck you. No, it isn't. And let's talk about the housing inflation.
But dude, even if
gonna be
I
a
was
real
poor,
problem.
Matt, I just don't want violence, dude.
No, I mean 100%. I'm just saying those are the two scariest things. Because hey,
right.
what happens with inflation? The purchasing power of the dollar goes down. What happens when the purchasing power of the dollar gets down? The government gets overthrown. You see the cyclatory thing multiple times. You watch what happened in Brazil. The government got overthrown. Where else did it happen? In Venezuela. Then it was taken over by a military dictatorship for a period of time, like in the 60s and the 70s. Like, this is what happens. So once the inflation rises and the people can no longer live, and then on top of that, we've now introduced a whole new section of crime, and California hates small business. California hates personal responsibility. So mix those two things together, and you're just waiting for some sort of overthrow or collapse. I mean, that's exactly how Hitler did it too in World War II, right? They were unable to pay their debts. The whole entire country was in turmoil, and he was able to say, hey, I'm going to save us, and point the finger at the bad guys, which was the Jews and everything else. And that's how he got the rise of power, man.
And don't forget, he made owning a gun illegal also.
Wonder why.
Hey, what do you think about this? Sean Strickland goes off. He's like, fuck it, I would never want a gay son, and trannies are all mentally ill, and he did all that shit, right?
Right.
And then he loses the fight, and he blames it because of the political statements he said. That's kind of weak, right?
That's 100% weak. But Sean Strickland,
I like Sean, but
I don't even know. I don't think I like him.
You don't like him?
No, I think he's whatever happened to him early on in his life with his childhood. He's so trying to prove something to somebody that he's willing to do stuff to people who don't deserve it. And he's also willing to just be crass for the sake of being crass without actually having the tools up here to understand that he's not that enlightened yet.
I just wish he wouldn't have he played the victim all of a sudden.
Exactly. That's what I mean. He doesn't have the
And I'm
tools.
like, come on.
And
No, I took 2 shits this morning. Sorry. Did you not deuce and shower this morning? I did all that. Look at my hair. I'm having a fucking great hair. I put gel in my hair to prepare for Garrett's podcast.
You look good.
Thank you.
You could fake it.
Prop 47 passed 2014 reduced theft under $950 to a misdemeanor.
Yeah, 100%. And more of those things happened. And that was all the little steps that ushered into where we are today.
I grew up in the Bay Area where you grew up. You're taught that the American flag is bad, that the worst thing that anyone could ever call you is a racist, that you should basically be afraid of black people, and not afraid like they're dangerous afraid, but you should walk on eggshells around them, right? Like
Mhm.
like you could never tell someone black that they're like, if like, you know, the famous line, if you told someone black, wow, you're crazy articulate, that somehow that would be implied that it's racist, that you're implying that they're not.
That's
Like,
fucked up to say.
yeah, the political correctness shit was whack. That all Republicans were bad.
Yep.
And
Rich people are bad.
rich people are bad. Yeah. It's just pumped into you nonstop. And yet the first time you go to fucking Texas, when your mom walks in the room, all the men stand up, and you've never seen that in your fucking life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or the people
Yeah.
down south in the South are really cordial and like asking you and they're helpful. And you're like, wait a minute, I thought you guys were portrayed as dummy racist hillbillies.
Yeah. Or you go into Nashville and the black club is and white club is the same club. It's mixed 50-50. You go to San Francisco, you don't ever see that shit.
I don't think people realize how, like, they probably think you're like exaggerating it or something.
No,
but me growing up in the same area as you're not exaggerating. Matter of fact, you might be downplaying it in some cases.
Yeah. I mean, it's so, and you don't even see it though at the time, because it's just normal. You don't know until you get out of it. It's like Xavier said, that black guy we had on the show from Livermore. He's like, holy shit, I thought the cops hated black people because the TV told me cops hated black people.
Dude, and he recently was marching for BLM over here in Dublin, which was hilarious, by the way, because they kind of like made a safe space for everybody in the Tri-Valley to march.
Dublin's the whitest town in the world, by the way. Rich white town. Go on.
Yeah, and he literally was over there marching, like with his mask on, with the sign, like hardcore into it. And I remember like conversations with him because he had been, you know, a member of the gym for a while and same circle of friends and stuff. And all of a sudden you just saw him because he's intelligent. And so he's like, I'm looking into this. I'm going to find more points to prove my arguments and everything else. And all of a sudden he unfucked himself and was like, wait a minute, I'm on the wrong side of the fence
he
here.
Accidentally researched himself into the truth.
100%.
Judy Reed, white men are bad.
Yeah. And Xavier's been killing it lately. Do you see him with Ben Shapiro? He's been on Fox News multiple times now.
I texted him the other day. I said, right on, bro. Keep going.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Look at it's the tooth powder peddler. Dale King, put a dab of Matoothia on your balloon knot and you'll be right as rain. Science. What's your balloon knot? Is that something like around your testicles or something?
I don't know.
Is that a military term?
I feel like Caleb knows.
Yeah. What's the balloon knot?
That's your butthole.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Caleb, how do you know stuff like that? Because that's what dudes in the military, like, they make up terms like that.
Oh, yeah.
Balloon knot.
That's all we talk about, buttholes and nutsacks.
The Cheerio. Is Sevan a white man? No.
Joe, you know the answer to that.
I'm more Bin Laden than David Beckham. I'm more Bin Laden than Beckham.
Wow.
Oh, did you see today's question for the poll? No.
Oh, he's it was
You don't run this show, Jake. Shut your pie hole. Shut your butthole.
Yeah, such a balloon knot.
God, Audrey, you love buttholes. I do not love buttholes.
Shit, I forgot. I don't know where it went. It was something about if somebody told you your penis is just the right size, is it better than saying it's too small or something like that?
Oh,
I'll answer that. Yes.
Yes. It's so funny. You could ask a chick
or something like that.
Yeah, you could ask a chick and be like, well, what do you think? And they're like, yours is perfect. I love it. It's such the right size. And you're immediately offended as a dude.
Yes.
Big ones hurt. You're like,
yes. What's that show? What's the cowboy show with Kevin Costner?
Yellowstone?
Yellowstone?
Yellowstone. I always forget how small your penis is. Do you remember that? It was like in episode 1. Let me see if I can. I always remember your dick. Oh yeah. Here it is. Okay. Let me see if I can. Fuck you, Caleb. I can do stuff too. Let me see if this is it.
Funny. I always remember your dick as being bigger.
Damn. She just fucked him, and then that's what she said.
That's funny.
Oh, it's so messed up.
I always remember your dick as being bigger.
Oh, Beth is awesome. She's a great
Damn.
Jeez.
I guess that's just the nostalgia.
Jeez.
God damn.
Fuck, that's rough.
The girl told me once your penis is perfect because the big ones hurt. I wanted to end my life.
Whoa, dude. That's
Thank you for sharing, pool boy. That's fantastic.
dude. Yesterday I went to a softball game, and my wife turns to me and she goes, "Don't look now, but over your right shoulder, there's a dude holding a camera, and it's like 32 degrees outside, so it's like cold as fuck." She goes, "He has a massive dick." I was like, "Really?" So I turn and look, and this guy's wearing like gray sweatpants, and his
Always
fucking
gray sweat.
dong is like pushed through his sweatpants. And he's just holding this camera like this, and you just see it just hanging there. And you're
Was
like,
it Henrik
holy
Hapalainen? Was it that dude that we had on the show?
it was like Uldis Upanex.
Uldis Upanex. Yeah.
It's like, holy hell, dude.
Oh shit!
What happens if you what happens if you type in Uldis penis?
Old.
Uldis Upanex. Did we?
Well, you know what you're gonna get.
Hey,
Same
did you
as
see the
big
guy's
dick guy.
girlfriend?
No.
My nuts were shriveled up in my stomach last night. I was like, I don't know how you just.
Hog gaze. Caleb's a hog gazer.
Sorry, I can't
Such
say.
a gazer.
Gotta admire the piece, man.
Did you know him?
No, never seen him in my life.
God, how funny would that be if you walked up to him and were like, "Hey, I could see your hog."
Hey, dude. Like what you're packing. Congrats.
Nice.
Hey, you know it's not open carry in this state.
Is that considered concealed carry, or how's that work? You got a license for that?
Besides Lindsay carrying.
Libby saw one at the jail in a body scanner that defies reality. Dude,
Oh my
send me a picture. Send me.
Dude,
I want to
that's
see that.
Crazy.
Oh my god.
I love seeing those videos of cops doing pat downs. They're like, "What's this?" They're like, "That's my penis."
I was like, that's my cock. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You're like,
All
"All right."
Damn. Okay.
I'm just imagining
So
that
funny.
one in the body scanner. Imagine your wife comes home from work. She's like, "You're like, how was work today?" Dude, I saw this giant cock in the body scanner.
We thought he was sneaking in a small child.
Oh shit.
Dang.
If I was a chick, I would do crazy shit. I would do crazy shit. I think if I was a chick and I saw that in the body scanner, I would like, okay, put your hands on the wall, and I'd take a hand, I'd grab it. Hey, sorry, I had to check.
Yeah, you got to move it around. Make sure they're not holding
Yeah.
anything.
You could get away with murder if you're a girl in a prison. Just
Pretty
fucking
cool,
with those dudes. That would change that guy's life. I was on an airplane one time in the bathroom area, waiting to use the bathroom, and someone walked by, and there was a stewardess there. And she looks over her shoulder. She goes, "Oh, excuse me." And she backs up and just pushes her ass on my cock so someone can go by, and holds it there. It's probably like a 1, 2, 3, but it felt like 6 months I was there. And I was close to ejaculating. It's like, what the fuck is going on? I was just completely.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Don't move.
Yeah. Stop.
Hey,
Stop. I can't take it
Here's the
anymore.
question, because I know immediately where your thought went. You're like, oh, she probably wants to bang. Like she
No.
probably that's like an invite to the
Well, I
bathroom.
didn't know what she thought. No one's ever done that to me unless they were like,
Oh.
unless I paid them.
I
I don't even know how my wife got pregnant.
I wonder what chicks think when they do that. Like, I wonder if they're just like, oh God, this dude probably thinks something, and this is just the tight quarters, or if they're like, if they know too.
I don't know what she knew.
You know? Do you know?
I was like, man, I thought two things. Fuck, I might be straight, and I wonder if she knew she did that.
Did you know?
I'm flying Southwest only for now on. Like, are the quarters tight in the bathroom area?
Time to get to stand up as they get ready to walk by. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there.
All right. See you guys in 33 minutes. Yeah, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. Yeah, thank you.
See, Travis, she definitely knew. I don't know. I think it's just dudes that think that. I think the chicks in here might disagree. Maybe they
You know
agree. I
what?
don't know.
Daniel, that's a good point. How short was the flight attendant? You know what? As I told the story, I was trying to picture it. Maybe it wasn't her butt.
Maybe it was.
Oh shit! But that is the kind of thing I would do if I was a stewardess, or if I had like big titties or something. Like if I was a chick, I would like always like in safe places. I'd be like rubbing them against people, or like I would
backing
just
that thing up,
torture dudes.
Or leaning
Yeah,
forward to hand a dude a drink on the other
yeah,
side.
I would
and
be just
pushing your
fucking
boob.
destroying dudes.
Every time I got haircuts as like a teenager, I always thought that.
You're like,
You know, they're
sitting there
sniffing
like,
your
are
hand.
her
and they're, like,
boobs against?
leaning,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or like they prop
Yes.
up on your shoulder. And you're
Yes.
like,
Yes.
I don't know what to do. You know, like the dog gives you that like out of the side look. Like it's like how you are up at her boob.
When ladies with big tits hug my kids, I always laugh. I'm so happy for them. Like, do they know? They're like, oh, come here. I'm like, oh, they're like lost in there.
Yeah, enjoy it, boys. You got 5 more years, and that shit goes
Yeah.
out the window.
Yeah, before they're like, fuck you.
Yeah.
All right. 31 minutes. I'll be back on Glinton Things. We're probably not going to talk about much. She's really into Scrabble. I'm really into that game Boggle. Probably like argue about which game is better. Do you guys know Boggle?
Yeah.
Where you shake
Yeah.
the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Cool.
probably just a boring show.
Good times.
I might throw up on the show.
Well, that's
There'll be I think there's going to be a live show tonight too, in studio. The whole studio has been only built for one guest. I can't tell you who it is. But... Bye-bye. Thanks, Caleb. Thanks.